episode 42 of the Paper Things Season 5. With me, the Broken Bottle Boy, here on Twitch. We're back! We were meant to be back yesterday, but unfortunately our landlord decided to serve notice, which somewhat undermined my joy for the special show. But the special show is here, and I will say why it's a special show when more people are in the room, because there's no one in the room yet. Mark Kenosis, good afternoon to everyone except your landlord and all other landlords. Yay. Correct. There is a no landlord empathy policy here, and I think I'm going to have to start blocking people on Twitter who say, "Oh, but surely you're landlord," because they can go fuck themselves. Use of weapons says afternoon, all death to landlords. Okay, it's all going somewhat Khmer Rouge here today. Right. All landlords are bastards, says SK the Crusader. Yes, this is the content we're here for. Well, welcome to today's four-paper show. It's the Times, the Sun, the Telegraph, and the Daily Mail. Yes, and it is the very special Wife in the Room stream. Yes, indeed. The wife is in the room. Hello. Check out my ring. Okay, now, Neon Lady says, hello, congrats again on becoming a wife guy. Hello, this is Panic Future, congratulations. SK the Crusader, can't believe Mick became a wife guy before me. Well, there you go. A congrats from Jujo and a congrats from Heathmore2401. Please don't show your ring, it's against terms of service, says Kronos them. There it is again. Right, so it's a four-paper show. We're going to do the Sun, Telegraph for the speed round, the Times, and then the Daily Mail. The classic, we're back. It's the classic setup. You know the score. Yeah, and any landlord-based rage is 100% welcome here. Jujo, I was at my dad's wedding. You're not my dad. Grand. All right, so here we go. Oh, by the way, I'm on doing a stream with SK later in the week where we're going to continue the Gapes saga. Slinkermeyer says, "Hey, Mr. Person in the Room." That is in fact my legal name now. Right, let's go. Front page of the Sun. We've entered War Christmas, so all of the papers, of course, have got the poppy on them now. How are you celebrating War Christmas? I'm going to turn this landlord's flat into a recreation of the Somme. Also on the Sun front page today, Kate Middleton, Duchess of Cambridge, got some soil on her hands, so we get getting one's hands dirty in the right hand side. Yeah, SK says in the stream we're going to work out how will Gapes overcome the Streeting Bin Laden alliance. I can't believe over the course of a couple of hours we got all the way there. Mark Kenosis wearing my white poppy, hoping to kill someone's dad with one punch. Panic Future, no war but war on landlords. Gonzo Socialism, thank you. The Neon Lady, there's no poppy emoji, shaking my head. I know. Appalling. It's because the woke have got to the emojis. Right. Anyway, the Queen paid tribute to Phil the Greek, aka Phil the Green here. Don't want to upset anyone, but unfortunately Prince Philip is dead. SK the Crusader might make a Tonti Poppy. Right, inside, on page 3, that isn't page 3, but is page 3, model Camille Kostek is wearing underwear. Whatever. Also on there, let the lover see the Astra. Top Gear's Paddy McGuinness was banned from using company cars after he was caught romping in them by his boss. Romping. Thank you for the congratulations, Soul Chicken. Chronotherm, shame Philip couldn't live to see Wolf Blitzer go to Edinburgh instead of Glasgow. A woman wears clothes. Big shagger Paddy. Yeah, full on. Do this for our children's children, Her Majesty the Queen said last night. Sadly, she wasn't talking about the arrest and imprisonment of her second eldest son. Q92, hello. Thank you very much. I am very pleased to be a wife guy. Notice that the front page doesn't say which side of the eco fight the Queen was on. Wait, is the Queen not dead? When did that happen? No, apparently she's been whamming around her estate in a Jaguar. Although that could be a weekend at Bernie's style setup controlled by levers. Who knows? Pages 6 and 7. PM channels 007 for climate plea. The world is hot enough is the headline, and they've done Boris Johnson up as James Bond, which is exactly what he wanted when he made that analogy in the speech. Panic future, the Queen had to be contacted by Ouija board. Philip sat revving his Range Rover and laughing uproariously. Gonzo socialism. Paddy does anything to avoid spending time with his wife and children. Can't stand the charlatan. Is that true? That sounds grim. He was making big effort to talk about that in the holy shit, the Queen died. When did that happen? Says Red Tixie. Eventually, you're going to say that, and it's going to be true. Clearly, a Madame Tussauds figure in the car. Bet the Queen dies midstream. Says use your weapons. On page 9, Rihanna has worn some of the lingerie from her Savage X Fenty collection. It looks nice, I guess. There's a cat that they've dressed up as a punk, and then they do some puns about what cat punk puns. Anarchy in the UK. Sheba is a punk rocker. I fought the claw. Mog saved the cream. The Pussenger. Kitty vacant. Should I stray or should I go meow? Gary Gilmore's cat's eyes. And rock the cat's bar. Jesus Christ. Woman advertises items, exactly, C122, H122. Neil Lady, to be fair, Boris is racist, sexist, and as posh as Bond. Yeah, true. On pages 10 and 11, schoolboy 15 locked up for 24 years. The headline is, addicted to guns. And then they say he's baby-faced. But all the pictures they're showing of him are from when he was somewhat younger. A pretty grim story all round. Ban English, says Panic Future. Sid Vicious could have been replaced by a cat for a lot of the Sex Pistols' career. That is true. Judge Rinder has written a piece on poppy power. In the US, people stand aside and let veterans go to front of queues. All our forces ask is that their sacrifice be remembered. Look, both my parents were in the Navy. My mum and my dad were in the Navy. My dad was in the Falklands War, so he's technically a veteran, right? Well, he is a veteran, right? And he doesn't want any of this shit. His attitude is he was doing a job, and when he stopped doing that job, he stopped doing that job. This stuff is weird. It's a weird fetishization of the military. Just grim. On page 13, driver badly injured, signal floor trains probe. On pages 14 and 15, it's Holly Willoughby. When you hit 40, don't think, God, my tits around my ankles. It's good to grow old. 40's a bit early to have your tits around your ankles. Let me just check with person in the room. Are your tits around your ankles? Let me check with wife in the room. Are your tits around your ankles? Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Scott Christy Jones, for gifting a sub to Soul Chicken. Your dad was in the Village People. Yeah, I guess so. Take my money, bitch, says Scott Christy Jones. Thank you very much. Yes, my dad was the construction worker. Mark Kenosis. Yeah, when we try to remember their sacrifices, such as the sacrifice of bullets at the back of innocent Irish people, they get mad. Imagine that, yeah. Wife in the room. Yes, Red Tick Seed. He's back. Hey, Red Tick Seed. Why don't we give seats to nurses or doctors? Well, yeah, good point, isn't it? Or why don't we just pay people properly and stop being weird and fetishizing about jobs? On page 17, Pamela Anderson. Maura Higgins from Love Island dressed up as Pamela Anderson. It is shonky, mate. That is a shonky outfit. Page 17, Price on road to recovery. Katie Price has left rehab and returned to work. Good, glad, happy for her. SK the Crusader, why don't we simply slam the communism button? Crawfish, pro-flowers, anti-veneration of the military. Use your weapons. We should give up our seats for the noble shitposter, the hardest working people of the world. The complete lack of mental support for most vets in the US begs to differ. 100%. The US is respect for veterans is the thinnest layer. Did Wife and Room get any coins at the wedding?
No,
Sadly, no coins. But, oh no, the tin. Fetch the tin.
What? Oh, the tin.
Yes, there is a special. I did get wife in the room a special tin. It's Quality Street tin, and it says No Coin Street on it. So there you go. And it was full of delicious Quality Street that you like, which lasted nowhere near Christmas.
No, there's at least 20 streets left.
Yeah, good work. Is the tin full of ugly trousers? Yeah, that was the secret. The lack of Turkish people at the wedding means no coins. It wasn't a deliberate lack of Turkish people. We should have had some Turkish people.
Not related to any.
No, we're not related to any, unfortunately. Coins. This is anti-coin discrimination, says Use of Weapons. Don't forget the commemorative coin that was in the Discord. Yes, that's true. That's true. Use of Weapons did make a special commemorative wedding coin. Clemmy Moody, my spaniel slipped away in place. Gran didn't. That's wrong, she says. And Katy Perry dressed up as a vaccine syringe, which is sort of kind of fine. Barclays boss quits after Epstein link. Let's have everyone quit who... and perhaps, let's have Peter Mandelson quit public life for his belt shopping antics. SK Crusader, I gave my cousin a big gold coin for her wedding. Then I got super drunk on watermelon and had vodka poured in it. Excellent. I still have my post stag do to come, so maybe I will fill watermelons with vodka for that. 10,000 hours in MS Paint to make the special commemorative coin, says Use of Weapons. Console Social System, something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue is little known to finish with, and 6pence in her shoe. Yo, post stag. Yeah, because it wasn't able to do something ahead of time, so my best man said we're going to do a post stag. Post stag do, as in you're posting for the stag. Yeah, it's just going to be posting. Can we jail people who are friends with Jeffrey Epstein? Yes, but unfortunately, it will immediately discover that they all have weak hyaloid bones. Right, anyway, Kendall Jenner dressed up as the Martian girlfriend from Mars Attacks, and whatever. Ronaldo is, still getting away with it. When Premier League stars need fashion, they ask 20-year-old Sam Morgan to sort it out. The headline for that, Personal Shopper. Game shows and crime dramas lead the autumn TV highlight. My God, there's a new contest coming, judged by Gary Barlow. Hope he pays his taxes. The research arena is so excited about your marriage. Generally made my evening when I found out. I'm really pleased. SK Crusader, Mick posting the rarest Brendans for his stag. Hell yeah. Friends of Jeffrey is just a synonym for nonces, yet Ronaldo still free. Panic Future was Ronaldo in the Black Book. Wouldn't surprise me. You mean the Kardashians aren't aliens? Well, yeah. The Kardashians are, aren't they? God, these pages are really hard to turn today. In Dear Deirdre, hubby rejected threesome plea. Kid brother is holding me back in quest for a new life. Yeah. He wants me to walk all over him.
Yes, sounds okay.
My boyfriend only wants sex with me if I walk over his back wearing high heels, but I hate doing it. He's always liked extreme forms of sex, which he told me about early on. He's 41 and I'm a guy of 33. He used to like wearing leather outfits, which was fine. Then he got into wearing dresses. Then he wanted to wear dresses, which I didn't like. As a compromise, he suggested I wear the heels while he lay on his front and I walk all over him. I'm 14 stone, so it must have been agony, but he loved it. Now he only wants sex if I dress up and hurt him, which is spoiling our relationship. Okay, well, talk about it is the answer there. Wait, no, go back to the threesome one, says Mark Kenosis. Mark's offering it now. Oh, basically, this woman used to be in polygamous relationships in the US. She met this man. This man said he only wanted to date her alone. They then got married, and she misses having sex with women, and he isn't into it. And she's asking Deirdre if, having a threesome would make her feel better about missing the more, variety, the greater variety of sex she used to have. I think it was probably an error for her to marry a man who was so resolutely aggressively, monogamous. Fab Daily. I quit school at 13 with no GCSEs. Now I own £500,000 beauty empire. Okay, this is apparently is after Paris Fury let her daughter leave school at 11. Yeah, but you can't do that. Like, she may not be attending a school, but she cannot leave. You can't leave education at 11. Right. The batch ladies' recipes this week are chicken fajitas and fajitas. I don't know why I said fajitas. This makes me laugh. Cauliflower tikka masala. Both look fine. Yeah, that's illegal. Yeah, exactly. And thanks, Mark. I'll see you soon. Scott Christy Jones, congratulations on the marriage stuff. After 10 years, wed my wife last year. Oh, and today I got an invite to meet some Freemasons. So it's been an interesting year. Well, congratulations, Scott. Send the kids down the pit, says Panic Future. In the sport, the full Conte. Levy all in for Ant after Nuno sacked. Italians' £50 million deal and £150 million to spend. There you go. That's the sum. Give me your scores. Minus 69, 69, 69. Triple negative, nice. Motherfucker said fajitas, yeah. I call them chicken fajitas to rhyme with chicken... fajitas to rhyme with vaginas, and every time it makes me laugh. Boo Spurs, boo London, says use of weapons. Yeah, if you're home educating your kid, there's still rules. Yeah, of course there is. £500,000 isn't much anymore. Just proves you're renting space and have no brand awareness. Yeah. Gonzo Socialism, quadruple negative nice, chicken fajitas. Scott Christy Jones, a negative nice for the Sun. Right, it's time for the first speed round of the new run of episodes. It's going to be a speed run through the Telegraph, so expect that to be a lot of flailing, which I know Slinkmeyer is particularly a fan of the flailing speed runs. Thank you for redeeming Hydrate C122, H122. I will do that because I am thirsty. Brown sauce. Mick takes up amphetamines. No taking up amphetamines. Right, here we go. Front page of the Daily Telegraph. The world's biggest paper with the least content. Correct use of weapons. Right. Where's my phone? I can't set the timer. Right, it's a 2-minute Telegraph. Let's see if we can get this done in 2 minutes. Starting now. Front page Daily Telegraph has a picture of the Queen doing Queen stuff. Rise of our politics for the sake of our children, it says. As Barclays boss Jess Staley quits, how many more will be caught up in the Epstein web? Lots, I expect. Fresh hopes of fishing deal. GP union quits amid face-to-face row. Inside, Hogarth, no laughing matter, say woke notes. Take Britain's latest exhibition suggests his drunken satires are based on the spoils of slavery. I reckon that's more complicated than that. Exam papers could push back demotivating hard questions. That's bollocks. Nightingale initiative open to non-binary DJ talent. Okay, whatever. Fine. Climate crisis is like Holocaust, says Welby. He apologised pretty quickly for that. It was a dumb comment. In the way he framed it. Tim Stanley is awful. Actresses should be happy to play wives, says the Crown star Claire Foy. I don't know what the more details on that. There's a picture of a big bull. Baby boomers best at tackling food waste, apparently. Bullshit, you're just putting that in here for their benefit as the readers. Teen who played violent VR game, jail for shooting. Brilliant, we're going to have a folk panic about computer games again. Ethiopian rebels have seized key cities. Democrat deals blow to Biden spending plan by not committing. Minneapolis votes on fate of city's police. Get rid, is what I say. Matthew Leach says, hurt feelings are no reason to cancel speech on the internet. Oh, not this shit again. Mario Macron's chauvinistic liberalism is a danger to the West, says the starry woman of Whitehall, Sherelle Jacobs. And Charles Moore says the BBC's prophet of doom belongs in a pulpit. How many will be caught in Epstein's web? Literally, they've pictured this with Jeffrey Epstein's head in the middle of a spider's web. Hannah Bett says, thank God we can still rely on our national sport of hating the French. I don't mind the French. My great-grandfather married a 14-year-old white slave, says the Prime Minister's father, Stanley Johnson. That is deeply fucked up. And was Philby's betrayal of his friend the lowest of them all? That is today's Daily Telegraph. Okay, give me your scores for the Telegraph. Very bad paper. Could say that in the Trump voice, but hate the English pro French, says C122H122. Why would you say what in any context? I would not be marrying slaves of any age, let alone slaves. Yeah, his legal defense. Prince Andrew has been doing some disgusting smearing. Pro bull running, says use of weapons. I cannot wait for a video game moral panic, says SK the Crusader. I'm going to put moral panics in my new video polls. Yeah. I think that there's more to... Similarly, do not marry slaves. Yeah, amphetamines or coins. Amphetamines over coins. Epstein was the spider. The other nonsense was simply innocent flies. Makes no sense. Exactly. Epstein's web, as if they couldn't help but get trapped rather than choosing not to hang out and do whatever else with a serial paedophile rapist. Yeah. Scott Christie Jones. My comment was banned, as I mentioned. Epstein. Where is your comment? Where is your comment? Your comment was banned where? Here? Gonzo Socialism minus triple negative nice anti-Semitic Welbies. Dick Pendren shit paper. Hope it falls over. I would simply not hang out with a no-nonce. Nuked by the Twitch auto mod. Yeah, but normally I see the auto modded comments, but there we go. Anyway, that was a Daily Telegraph, an absolute disgrace of a paper. Minus 69 bulls running into Boris's dad, says use of weapons. Jujo 1 says minus 69 nonce spiders. The most dangerous spider of all is the nonce spider. All right, so now we move on to the Times. Let's do this. Top of the shop, my Tinder marriage. I swipe right for love, but will it last? Apparently there's new research that says marriages that start based on dating from people meeting on dating apps last less than 3 years. Thankfully, wife in the room and I met via Twitter, which I guess you could argue is a dating app, but you said is a hookup app. Yeah. Right. Elsewhere on the front page, free home delivery for 6 weeks of the Times. If I wanted someone to shit on my doorstep, I'd simply pay for that. Elsewhere on the paper, French delay, tough new checks at ports after legal threat. Absolutely a load of government spin there. Main story, answer the call of future generations, urges the Queen. Future generations are calling for Prince Andrew to be arrested and jailed. On the right-hand side, web or phone appointments disastrous for some patients. Yeah, I could understand that, definitely. Epstein got bitten by a radioactive nonce spider, says Jujo. Okay. Scott Christie Jones. It's use the word fags in reference to cigarettes. That's what got you the comments blocked. On page 4, six-fold increase in migrants crossing Channel last month. More absolute home office propaganda as published by Matt Datham, who frankly should just be a Home Office press officer rather than the Home Affairs editor of a paper. On page 5, Old Vic cancels outspoken Gilliam. No, Terry Gilliam has been much more than just outspoken. Watchdog wants to make exams less testing to understand. Again, I'm dubious about that. Markley's boss steps down over links with sex offender Epstein. Yeah, he should have done that a long time ago. And above that, cuffed Maxwell appears in court. Ghislaine Maxwell suffered a series of setbacks in a pre-trial hearing in New York yesterday, where she appeared in a prison jumpsuit after being led to her chair in handcuffs. Judge Alison Nathan ruled that the 4 women who accused her of sex trafficking on behalf of Jeffrey Epstein, former financier who killed himself in jail, former financier who still gets that rather than, convicted and known paedophile rapist, can remain anonymous when they testify at her trial due to start this month. Lawyers for Maxwell objected to the language of the 25-page indictment, which identified the accusers as minor victims 130 times, arguing it could prejudice the jury. The judge said it would be unnecessary and impractical to exclude use of the terms. I will, of course, instruct the jury repeatedly that the defendant is presumed innocent, she added. The indictment states that Maxwell, 59, was in an intimate relationship with Epstein and was paid to manage his homes in New York, Palm Beach, New Mexico, and the Caribbean from 1994 to 2004. Maxwell's lawyers claim that it was only after he took his own life that prosecutors looked to bring charges against her. Instead, Nathan said any evidence suggesting the case was brought for political reasons could not be put in front of the jury. Maxwell denies all charges of procuring underage girls. Jury selection is due to begin on November 15th. Maxwell's trying to keep documents from Epstein's conviction stitched up in 2006. Yeah, series of setbacks is code for having a weak hyoid bone. Yeah. I wonder if Epstein was whacked by Clinton, says Scott Christy Jones. A baby rescued from train wreckage. Yeah, that crash was horrendous. Apparently, Vax is the word of the year. The secret to a fantastic sex life, 2-inch heels. Scientists have finally proved that when it comes to female satisfaction, size does matter, but not in a way that most people might think. Oh, fuck off. Women who frequently wear heels at least 2 inches high are more likely to be happy with their sex lives, according to Chinese researchers. The result is that the shoes of this height stimulate the pelvic floor muscles, which are integral to female sexual satisfaction. This is fucking horseshit. Flat shoes or very high heels did not reap the same benefits, their study found. I'm really suspicious of this. Researchers from Fudan University in Shanghai questioned 1,263 women about what types of shoes they wore. There could be all sorts of other reasons. Is it 2-inch heels walking on your back? That's the one. Citation needed. Jesus H. Nando's Les Ferdinand Christ. E. Blair fans subscribed for 3 months, currently on a 2-month streak. Thank you very much. This is very tradwife propaganda. Yeah, absolutely. On pages 8 and 9, India puts off net zero to 2017, deals blow to climate hopes. Sorry I mentioned the Nazis, says Welby. What a headline. King92, was this written by the fella from Dear Deirdre? I think so. Bradley J. Edwards' book, Relentless Pursuit, goes into extensive details of Epstein and Maxwell that's missing from most coverage. Thanks for the heads up. If you're on the Discord, can you send me that? Scott Christy Jones with a classic 70s joke here. My wife is aroused if I've done the washing up and done the laundry. Leaders promise to save world's forests in 8 years. Cry of hypocrisy as private jets fill the Glasgow sky. Greta Thunberg did some swearing, which the Daily Mail is very upset about. Clergy's house stolen and sold off by identity scammers. Thieves stole a house belonging to a clergyman while he was away and sold it without his knowledge. The Reverend Mike Hall came home after being alerted by his neighbours to discover that his home in Luton had been stripped of furnishings and his key no longer worked on the door. An investigation by you and yours discovered that Hall's identity had been stolen and used to sell the house and bank proceeds. Clergyman had been away working in North Wales, was told by his neighbours on August 20th that someone was in his house and all the lights were on. He drove to the house the next day. Why would you wait till the next day? I went to the front door, tried my key. A man opened the front door to me. I pushed him to one side and got on the property. I really didn't know what he was doing there. Shock of seeing the house completely stripped of furniture, everything. Man said he was doing building work, to which Hall replied, I haven't sold the house, it's still my property. Hall phoned the police. It turned out that a duplicate driving licence and bank account set up in his name had been used to sell the house, and a phone recording of the thieves, and there was a phone recording of the thieves speaking to a solicitor. Once the house had been sold to the new owner for £131,000, they legally owned it. Hall said, we tried to access the land registry documentation online, find out whose name appeared, and it is, in fact, as of August 4th, this man's name. At this point, the police said, well, there's nothing further we can do here. This is a civil matter. You need to leave the house and contact your solicitors. I was shocked, having seen the house and the state it was in. I was in a bit of shock anyway. Then he told by the police they didn't believe a criminal offence had been committed. Bedfordshire Police's fraud squad has begun an investigation. No arrests have been made. The solicitors, who were involved in the property transaction, said there was a police investigation underway and it was inappropriate to comment further. The Land Registry paid out a total of $3.5 million in compensation for fraud last year. It said, we work with professional conveyancers such as solicitors and rely on them and the checks that they make to spot fraudulent attempts to impersonate property owners. Despite our efforts, every year we do register a very small number of fraudulent transactions. Jesus Christ. You would not download a house, says use of weapons. Why does any time somebody like Crawfish talk about equality, they only talk about men having a hard time? I'll send it via Twitter. Thank you, Gonzo. Crawfish, equality is hot, not going to lie. Next is 4805. They talk about men having a... I don't think he was doing that. I also sent her a cameo from Ken Bone complimenting her on a haircut this morning. Nice. Moving on. Again, they cover this 6-year-old boy who who shot another schoolboy by saying violent game addict jailed for shooting. We're getting another moral panic. Diana Rigg, woman who did her nails, £5,000. That story was in the papers last week, but it's still in there now. Halt spread of smart motorways, say MPs. The smart motorways are extremely not smart. Rail may have to be subsidised in perpetuity. I would simply nationalise it. Support for Nazanin husband protest. I mean, that poor man. Jesus Christ. Content warning here for violence against women and just general grotesquerie. Killer of 2 women sexually abused mortuary bodies. An electrician accused of murdering 2 women in 1987 sexually abused female corpses in hospital mortuaries. Christ. Big tech will fight us hard, warns the Ofcom chief. Bullish plan to save cattle with sperm from the 1960s. There is usually scant common ground between cattle farming and the Austin Powers series, or even Lord Austin. One project in Scotland is bridging the divide by thawing biological matter kept in liquid nitrogen until the 60s to save a species from extinction. While Austin Powers fought to save mankind, blah, 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 these farmers are reviving the fortunes of purebred Aberdeen Angus cows by forming a herd using sperm frozen more than 50 years ago. Aberdeen Angus steaks widespread, but it comes from cows that have been crossbred with American breeds. Cattle with a pure bloodline, cattle eugenics, can be traced back more than 150 years, are considered at risk. Nexus 4805. Why on earth would you practice the USSR's policy of nationalisation? Nexus 4805, I don't know what you're on about here. Scott Kirsty Jones, here's something not covered. Despite being cleared by the JCVI, etc., you can't get an Oxford booster jab after Dame Sarah Gilbert said we don't need it. You're someone fully vaxxed who can't have mRNA and would like the booster. That's odd. Yeah, that's not good. Cronin, I've been playing Overwatch recently and I do want to become a grandmother with a sniper rifle, so I think it's true. Use your weapons genetically enhanced super cows. I don't want Habsburg cattle, says a neon lady. Just Brendan-looking cows. Nadia on a mission to end TV nepotism. Nadia Hussein says she's determined to tackle nepotism in television after revealing that she's usually only the only person of colour in meetings. Good that she's tackling that. Savage, observant Hogarth paints a picture of our age, writes Richard Morrison, reviewing the Hogarth and Europe exhibition at the Tate Britain. Apparently taking zinc can fight off colds and flu, according to a study. William Hague says, if COP26 fails, our future is hot and angry. That's how I used to describe myself on dating apps. It's not. Melanie Phillips is awful. Anders Breivik's favourite columnist. Giles Corrin is even more awful. Still has not made any public apology for what he said about Dawn. Nexus 4805. Her race doesn't matter. If she doesn't like the fact there aren't more of her race somewhere, that has a name, and that name is racism. Nexus 4805. No. What the hell are you talking about? No. It matters that there is a lack of diversity in television. It matters that an Asian woman barely ever sees other people who look like her in the rooms where they're making television. Of course that matters. 100% not it. Giles Curran and Gove sit near you at the football. Interesting. Giles Curran's car should absolutely. It actually doesn't. There's plenty of black people are like 3. There is not a great deal. I mean, this is not an argument I'm going to get into, but there is not a great deal of diversity in TV production, and among TV executives. Sorry to tell you that, but it's the truth. James Kirkup says BBC boss must protect it from progressives. My God, the sheer terrifying concept of that the BBC might do anything progressive. Panic Future says Mick catfishing Tory Mills with a fake William Hague Tinder account. Neil Lady, it's been too long since Giles Curran's car has been stolen. Yep, it should never be unstolen. In the birthdays today, Maggie G, the novelist, is 73. Mark Bullingham, the chief executive of the Football Association, is 47. Danny Cipriani is 34. He's a rugby player. Larry Fink, the co-founder, chairman, and chief executive of BlackRock, is 69. Not nice. Mark Florman, the co-founder of the African private equity firm 8 Miles, with Bob Geldof and Kofi Annan, is 63. Tony Gallagher, the deputy editor of The Times, editor-in-chief of The Sun until 2019, is 58. Sir Simon Gass, the chairman of the Joint Intelligence Committee, is 65. Rory Godson, the founder and chief executive of Powers Corp Communications, and former business editor of The Sunday Times, is 59. Sir Mark Hendrick, the Labour MP for Preston, is 63. Paul Johnson, journalist and author of Eisenhower, 2014, is 93. Alan Jones, the racing driver, Formula One world champion until 1980, 74. Katie Lang, singer-songwriter, Miss Chatelaine, 1992. Weird song for them to choose. Why were they not? Anyway, she's 60. Peter Mullen, actor and filmmaker, Trainspotting, 1996, is 62. Baroness Pauline Neville Jones, security minister until 2011, is 82. Lord Ronald Oxborough, the geologist and geophysicist, chairman of Shell UK until 2005, is 87. Brian Poole, lead singer of the Tremolos, is 80. Stephanie Powers, the actress, 79. Ken Rosewall, tennis player, winner of 8 Grand Slam titles, 87. Lord John Sainsbury of Preston Candover, president of the J. Sainsbury, is 94. David Schwimmer, the actor, is 55. Peter Seabrook, the gardening writer and broadcaster, 86. Matthew Syed, the former tennis table champion and current awful columnist, is 51. Leon Taylor, the diver and Olympic silver medalist, is 44. Don Walsh, the oceanographer, is 90. Bruce Welch, the singer, songwriter and guitarist in The Shadows, is 80. On this day in 1841, Sir Alec Burns, explorer, diplomat, and keeper of a harem, was hacked to death by a mob in Kabul following the First Anglo-Afghan War. His memoir, Travels in Bukhara, was a bestseller. The last word. What we're saying today is that you're either part of the solution or you're part of the problem. That's Eldridge Cleaver, the American activist, in a speech in San Francisco in 1968. Imagine the Times quoting him. In corrections and clarifications, extension of death benefits to cohabiting unmarried parents will cost the government $220 million after 5 years, not $220 billion as we wrongly stated. Scott Christie Jones is right. Everyone behind the screen, the majority behind the screen, is white and posh. Eldridge Cleaver as a boss does not deserve to be quoted in the Times' Hispanic future. In the world news, I got death threats after defying Trump, says election official. Yeah, I can not surprised. I want to be executed, says the Joker attacker who was on the train in Tokyo. Sexism row of a menu for women with no prices in Italy. Macron's far-right rival wins backing from the Kremlin. Well, of course he does. They're just trolling. Japanese PM beats Poles to seal a decisive victory. Merkel's old enemy leads race for party leadership. They're going to build a giant glass pyramid in Paris. It's finally going up. After a decade of controversy, work is about to begin on a rare high-rise tower in Paris. 48th-floor glass-clad pyramid that has been likened to the Shard in London. A financing deal last week has opened the way to construction of La Tour Triangle, a €700 million, 180-metre tower with a trapezoid base that will be built within the exhibition park of the Porte de Versailles on the southern side of Paris. Right, I've banned Nexus 4805 because it's just full on. Like, I try to avoid banning actual people, but it's fully just there is absolutely no it's zero tolerance for racists in our chat. So bye bye. He's banned. He is banned. He's out. Staley quits Barclays amid row over Epstein inquiry. BT bolsters defences after it hits savings target early. Staley leaves Barclays at centre of storm. And Torsten Bell in the business column says, we better get used to it. The direction of travel on taxes is upwards. I'm not. Put the taxes up as long as they use them on something. This notion in the British press that taxation is inherently bad is just fuck off. Thank you, King United 2. Yeah, I'm not having it. Grant Thornton is fined 1.3 million over Interserve audit failings. Ryanair plans to scrap London listing as Brexit bites the city. Yeah, the reason it's blocking it is because European airlines need to have majority European shareholders, and they cannot do that. Nexus 4802 is going to be complaining on Twitter of being cancelled right now. Yeah, well, he's being a shithead. Like, my tolerance for conversations in the chat is high, but also my belief that the environment within our chat should be an explicitly anti-racist environment is unshakable. C122, H122, taxes are not good or bad. Like if I spent money on hammers and use them on puppies, yeah, exactly. This is the notion of like higher taxes. A higher tax country is fine if that tax is being used to actually do something positive, make life for people better. But no. Yeah, first time I've needed to block on Twitch. Yeah, the guy was just going on. He was also dominating the chat. Really ugly thing you could get it. Hoppy by Stife. Deserved to be hugged, made to be loved. That's me again. It's right. This is a stuffed rabbit that they're trying to charge you £69 for. £69 for this rabbit. In the obituaries today, Sir Archie Lamb, ambassador to Norway, decorated RAF pilot, expert on oil, and survivor of 9 days in an open lifeboat in shark-infested waters. He died 4 days before his 100th birthday. Ado Campiol, a restaurateur who helped to invent tiramisu after a lump of mascarpone accidentally fell into a bowl of whipped egg and sugar. He was 93. And Pee Wee Ellis, musical director to James Brown and Van Morrison, who arranged Say It Loud, an anthem revived after George Floyd's murder. He has died. He was 80. Gethin Jones, has there been any coin news today? No coins. But his messages were making me anxious as well, so that's why he's out. In the sport, Jones planned to thrill fans tired of safety-first kicking tactics in the rugby. India unravelling under weak rule of cautious Kohli, says Simon Wilde about the cricket. Butler's crisis management provides clear path to glory, says Mike Atherton. Again, in the cricket. And on the back page, we've got an ad for... I cannot believe they still have Johnny Depp in these Dior ads, but there you go. In fact, I can. And on the back page of the sport, Conte agrees £15 million deal to rescue Spurs. King United 2, Mick just living that bin-him life. Yes. There's one thing that WITR has taught me. It's that the bin-him life is powerful. Right, that was the time. So finally, we come to... Ronaldo still plays for Man U, says C122, H122. Yes, fair point. Right, finally we come to the Daily Mail. Front page of the Daily Mail. Welby, sorry for Hitler gaff. Incredible. Hundreds flying on private jets. China and India's new carbon letdown. Biden nods off, so thank goodness for a real star turn. Yes, it's the Queen, operated like a Muppet with some... long ropes. MPs brakes on MPs brakes on smart motorways is the main headline. Gonzo Socialism minus quintuple negative nice couple harem hackings. Blair fan. My score minus triple question marks for the Chinese researchers' high heel story. I reckon the Queen is dead, says C122H122. Neon Lady, weekend at Lizzie's. Gonzo Socialism, she's a cyborg. Imagine if it was just a carefully, a pretty well done deep fake. To be fair, replacing the Queen with a Muppet would be cool. What the hell is a smart motorway? Basically, it doesn't have a hard shoulder. It's a very bad idea. Announcement on War Christmas. John Christie Jones, the Queen is immortal. Yeah, vampires tend to be, don't they? Act now for our children's sake, they say. Robert Hardman says that's how to steal the show, because the male loves a bit of Queen loving. End of the road for death traps is what the males say about smart motorways. One of the rare occasions when I agree with them on that. Something. Claire's toughest role, being a mother, says Claire Foy. Oh, God. Vicar's house stolen by ID fraudsters. We've covered that. Boris Johnson and Joe Biden both seeming to fall asleep at COP gets a double-page spread. Welby's Nazi slur apology. He says failing to act is worse than ignoring Hitler, then is forced to U-turn after outcry. He'd never make a poster, will he? On page 11, look who's here. It's four-letter Greta. The Daily Mail is angry that Greta Thunberg, an 18-year-old, said the word fuck. Replace the Queen with the worm from June, says use of weapons. How long does the oldest lizard live, says Panic Future. King United 2, my most boomer opinion is the hatred I have for smart motorways. They are a bad idea. They are a fundamentally bad idea. On page 15, double killer abused corpses is the sensitive headline the Daily Mail puts on that. Sheer wealth, Ed Sheeran tops under 30s rich list with £236 million fortune. More trad wife shit. Daily Mail is angry. No need to go any further, says Blair fan. How could it happen? Experts say signal failure may have caused trains to collide in terrifying tunnel drama. I'd say it's fairly likely. Viagra in a pudding. A pick-me-up for Italian ladies of the night, or a dish born by mistake as father of tiramisu dies. There's one stimulating conclusion. Right. Ed Sheeran's under 30. He is. How would you know, Mick? There's no motorways in Norfolk. I have driven onto motorways. It's true. We don't have we have the A11. That one beautiful road coming in. Final words of Baldwin victim is Starface's backlash over Halloween snap. That was no good at all. Apparently, were the words of Hanya Hutchins after she was shot. And Alec Baldwin was pictured at Baldwin's wife, Hilaria, 37, posted images on Instagram of them posing in costume with their 6 children. She told fans the couple rallied to give their family some normality. I think it's perfectly reasonable for them to dress up with their kids, but posting the pictures to Instagram, Yu-Gi-Oh! Says, once you enter Norfolk, you may never leave. You may not, but it's pretty good here. C122H122. Yes, it all comes down to scab labour, as the Slinkermeyer has said time and time again, and push back on labour conditions. Welcome to the Norwich Premier Inn. Such a lovely place. Not a bad place. My mother-in-law stayed there, and my brother-in-law and my nephews. It was good. It's pretty good. Gonzo Socialist and they have conditionals in hospitals called Normal for Norfolk, according to Stephen Fry. Not just according to Stephen Fry, according to it's a very old Norfolk joke, that one. Usually about people on from the Fens, where there was some degree of inbreeding. On page 25, one stain he couldn't wash away. Barclays chief resigns after he misled bank over Epstein links. Once again, they say setback for Maxwell. On page 31, she's nailed kindness. Beautician left 5k by Diana Rigg, turns down cash, hands it to Star's grandson. Oh. Forced to move back to mum and dad's age 55. Feel sorry for boomerang children. Meet the women who hit middle age with nowhere else to go and don't even ask what it's done to their love lives. Oh dear. Did they bring their own plates to the Premier Inn? They did not. They should have brought the larger plate. Don't C122, H122. You don't talk about Fen. They all drive Lexuses. Yes, they do. Lexi. Scott Christy Jones. I love the shows. It saves my reading the bullshit in papers. Yep, that's the whole purpose of the show, yeah. November 2nd, 2021, on this day from the Daily Mail archive in 1982. At close down tonight, viewers will have sampled Channel 4, the first new TV network to be launched in Britain for 18 years. Most of the population are able to tune into the new channel, but how many viewers will bother to press the long dormant fourth button is an unknown factor. November 2nd, 1987, an international anti-terrorist operation has stopped the IRA receiving a huge arms consignment from Colonel Gaddafi. A ship containing 5 Irishmen and 200 tons of arms worth £3 million was seized off Brittany on Friday in the biggest joint Western operation of its kind. Birthdays, happy birthday to Katie Lang, who's 60, and to David Schwimmer, who's 55. On this day in 1755, Marie Antoinette was born. She died in 1793. She was known as a Madame Deficit, as her lavish spending was blamed for causing the country's financial crisis. Steve Ditko died in 2018. He was born on this day in 1927. He's a comic book artist, created many incredible characters, including Doctor Strange, Spider-Man. Stan Lee came up with the original idea for the idea of Spider-Man, so says the Daily Mail and Stan Lee. But Ditko designed his outfit and the web shooters he wore on his wrist. A recluse dubbed the J.D. Salinger of comic books, he refused to appear in the BBC film In Search of Steve Ditko, presented by Jonathan Ross, who said he was the single greatest comic book artist and creator who ever lived. I would also refuse to spend time with Jonathan Ross. On November 2nd in 1950, Irish playwright George Bernard Shaw died. He was 94. And in 1953, the first Samaritan's phone call was answered by its founder, Vicar Chad Vara. The quote of the day comes from Adele. You have to prioritize what you stress about when you have a child. And joke of the day. My friend's fruit and veg business went into liquidation. She now sells smoothies. She now sells smoothies. Gonzo Socialism. Putting a damp spoon back in the bowl is tea drinking equivalent of sharing a needle. And I do not want to end up with tea drinking equivalent of AIDS. That's Alan Partridge. Didn't Thatcher give weapons to the loyalists? Yes. There was vast state collusion between loyalist terrorists and the British government. Ditko and Stanley made Spider-Man. Yes. Netflix drama as search for young Will's hits 11th hour. Apparently they haven't got the actor to play Prince William in The Crown. I would simply just paint an egg. People should read about Bill Finger, who created Batman. Good health. Pillow talk to cure your ills, from heartburn to hot flushes. These high-tech headrests promise to help your condition. What do the experts say? Who cares? My life in danger from an allergy, but no one can tell me what it is. Oh, horrendous. Fatigue, migraine, memory loss. How a bump on the head can affect your brain for years. Sorry, God, my nose is itching. In the TV recommendations. Orkney, Britain's Green Islands, 8:30 on ITV. Also, What We Do in the Shadows is back on 10:05 BBC Two, and Great British Bake Off tonight at 8. Scott Christy Jones' wife comes from like a random place in America, which is only famous as Adam West came from there. Orkney isn't real. Fuck off, says use a weapon. Last night's TV, Joanna Lumley and the Human Swan gets 2 stars. Outlaws gets 2 stars. What We Do in the Shadows is great. Really love it. Okay, there are poems today, I'm afraid. Here is the poem, Another Memory Fail. My memory is not as it once was. I forget the silliest things, but the microwave is my friend. When things are done, it pings. I forget the toast is under the grill. It happens on most days. Protests from the smoke detector declare the error of my ways. I forget that I made a cup of tea until it's gone stone cold. I go outside to wash the car, then remember that it's been sold. When I do the weekly shopping, I always forget to write a list. Then on my return, I remember an appointment I have missed. I settled down to tackle the crossword in the Daily Mail, only to find that I'd done it earlier. Yet another memory fail. I phoned a friend to ask him what time we were due to meet. He told me that was last weekend, and his name isn't Pete. My daughter phoned to tell me she'd pick me up at 5. I couldn't remember what for as she pulled into the drive. She said, "Why haven't you got ready? They're all waiting at the pub. We've been waiting there most of the afternoon preparing all the grub." She could see that I was somewhat confused and not sure what to say. "It's your birthday party, Dad," she said. "You're 95 today." And the limerick today comes from the ever submitting letters and poems to this damn newspaper, I.G. Fenner of New Milton, Hampshire. On Strictly, the temperature's rising. Those tangos are so mesmerising. And now they all say that Kai and AJ are in love, which is hardly surprising. Boom, boom. Oh. Right. Here are the straight to the point letters today. Malcolm Warner of Norwich, letting my hometown down, says, "The budget, what the big print giveth, the little print taketh away." Chris Pate says, "Facebook has metamorphosed, but into what?" Mike G. Haddock, real name, Mike G. Haddock, says, "How refreshing to see the Chancellor out shopping and using real money." Ben Higgs says, "Olympic long jump champion Greg Rutherford in the British bobsleigh team. Watch his sports career go downhill." Nick Kennedy says, "In view of the shortage of workers to prepare turkeys for Christmas, will poultry farms be advertising pluck your own?" Diane Silver of Bournemouth says, Joan Armour Trading looks upon her CBE as commander of British excellence rather than British Empire. I agree, that's a progressive and more relevant title. Good letter, that one, actually. Peter Beckley says, "Shouldn't Insulate Britain be renamed Insult Britain?" No. Alfred Levy says, "Coronation Street has gone right down the drain. Literally." Brian McAvoy finally says, "What wouldn't I give for a pan of homemade chips cooked in lard instead of uniform, colourless, tasteless French fries? Bring back the chip pan." They haven't got any way, mate. Mike G. Haddock. Pluck off, says Gonzo Socialism. Correlation Street, I would. Give poem writer Savannah Syndrome agreed. Use of weapons, says the Khmer Rouge was right about poetry. Today's recipe is veggie force meat balls. What is a force meat ball? Oh, like a fake...
False balls.
Yeah, but it doesn't say false balls, it says force meat.
Weird.
Yeah. You can still buy lard and make your own. Soap operas and reality TV mimic the rivers of shit. Stay in Norris's Panic Future. Sounds a bit fishy, wouldn't it? Right, they're trying to sell you walk-in showers and ugly moleskin trousers, yours for £60. Available in Imperial, Pine, Loden, Indigo, Mulberry and Chocolate. The chip pan burn down your house in one easy trick, says the neon lady. The fake horse meat, says Yu-Gi-Oh! It's like a ball of breadcrumbs and stuff, but it forces the meat to go further. Ah, right, I see. Thank you, Heathmore. It's like a shit name, isn't it? Are they EU moleskins? I don't think they are. Old frugal cooking, yeah. And on the back of in the sport, Conte coup, Italian agrees 18th month Spurs deal and pockets £13 million salary. And the Butler did it again. Josh Butler said his century against Sri Lanka was among his best international innings for England. Imperial coloured trousers. Imagine, yeah, purple. There you go. That is the Daily Mail. Give me your scores. For me, it's a quadruple negative nice. -69, -69, -69. Jujo says Conte will be done by February. Scott Christie Jones says, I used to work in Classifieds, The Mirror, can't believe they're still going. Classifieds, that is. Oh, and The Mirror. Yeah. Slinker Meyer gives the Daily Mail a quadruple negative nice, centuple negative nice from C122, H122, and a triple negative nice from, triple negative nice Queen Muppets from Use of Weapons, quadruple negative nice Force Meatballs from Heathmore 2401, and septuple negative nice Moleskin Contes from Gonzo Socialism, a standard triple negative nice from Jujo, and a very angry negative nice from E. Blair fan, 5318008 from Christy Scott Jones, aka Boobies. And Panic Futures, minus 69 dead monarchs. Thank you very much for joining me on this special Wife in the Room stream. I will be back tomorrow for a usual and normal one. There was a good newsletter. The newsletter of today is not out yet, but yesterday's is still relevant. Thank you very much. So do check that out, and if you can support the newsletter, that would be fantastic. And if you want to help support the show and just my work generally, stick some coins into the paper fund. PayPal.me/Conquest of the Useless. I will see you hopefully. Hi, WNR says it's like my Wife in the Room is the best. So C122H122. Yes. Thanks, Scott Chrissy Jones. Good one. Scott says, like me, you're punching above your weight. Yeah, agreed. Gethin Jones says, coins. Chris McRae, cheers, Mick, and congrats again. Cheers. Slanker, Wife in the Room says, Red Tick Seed. Cheers, Heedmore. Thank you, Gonzo Socialism. See you all tomorrow at 1 p.m. And if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all that kind of stuff. It's really helpful. Bye-bye.